From the moment we take our first breath, we're conditioned to view death as the ultimate boundary, something we should dread. We often hear phrases like "life is short" and see it as an endpoint, a shuttering of the lights on all that we've known. But what if that fear is misplaced, even engineered by society? Ancient Gnostic texts hint at a different perspective, that death is not an ending, but merely a veil, an illusion concealing our true nature. Imagine for a moment, what if we are not just fragile beings destined for an abyss, but eternal consciousness, temporarily dreaming this human experience? This idea shifts the narrative from fear to freedom, inviting us to explore the possibility of life beyond life. In the early centuries after Christ, a quiet revolution of thought began to stir. Gnostic teachers, often considered outcasts, whispered truths so profound that they seemed more like forbidden secrets than teachings. Imagine a world where the soul is perceived not as something born, but as an eternal essence that simply transitions, migrating from one form of existence to another. This idea suggests that what we label as death isn't an end, but rather a doorway, a shift in perception from one density of being to another. But as the Church solidified its power, this understanding was deemed heretical, threatening the very foundations of dogma. In their desperate effort to maintain control, the leaders sought not just to silence these voices, but to erase them entirely. Scrolls filled with arcane wisdom were burned, and those who dared to share these cosmic truths were met with persecution. What could have been a shared journey into understanding became a buried legacy, a treasure trove of enlightenment tucked away beneath layers of fear and control, leaving us to grapple with our own mortality amid the shadows of these forgotten teachings. Imagine for a moment a flicker of light deep within you, a shimmering essence that transcends your physical form. This is often referred to by the Gnostics as the divine spark, a piece of pure source energy nestled in the very core of your being. It's not bound by the limitations of the body or the constructs of the mind. Unlike our physical selves, which face wear and tear over time, this spark remains untouched, forever vibrant and eternal. This living current of creation was sent into the material world with purpose, to awaken. It's a gentle reminder that we are not merely existing, we are on a journey of discovery. When the body eventually dissolves, this spark doesn't vanish. Instead, it shifts dimensions. We carry our memories and awareness with us, moving beyond the confines of our physical reality. Think about what that means for you. You were never meant to see death as an end, but rather as a transformation, a shift from one state of existence to another. It calls us to awaken from the illusion of separation, reminding us that we are connected through this divine essence. Each moment we spend nurturing this spark within us brings us closer to a profound understanding of who we truly are. Embrace it, and let it guide you on your path. In the shadows of our existence lurk the archons, these formidable entities that thrive on human fear. They feed on our anxieties, skillfully twisting our perceptions and convincing us that death is the ultimate end, a final curtain call. This illusion of mortality becomes their greatest weapon, ensnaring countless souls in a relentless cycle of fear and reincarnation. It's a heavy weight, isn't it? We often find ourselves gripped by the notion that our time here is fleeting, that each moment carries the heavy burden of inevitability. However, not everyone is bound by these chains. The awakened ones among us, those who have caught a glimpse of their true essence, understand that life is not merely a countdown. They remember their divine origins, realizing that no external force can extinguish what is eternal within. This realization is liberating. It's an invitation to step outside that fear-driven loop, to break away from the grasp of the archons, and embrace our true, unshackled selves. By doing so, we reclaim our power, transforming fear into freedom. In the myth of Sophia, we see a profound journey, one that reflects our own experiences. Imagine her, the embodiment of wisdom, choosing to descend into the depths of matter. This wasn't a fall from grace, but rather a sacred sacrifice, allowing creation to unfold. Through her embrace of limitation, she birthed the world, inviting us all to remember our divine essence. In our lives, death becomes a whisper of this descent, a reminder that we too can awaken from the illusions that bind us. Awakening, then, is our return to her, a journey back home to the wisdom that resides within. Imagine standing before a mirror, gazing into your own reflection. What do you see? A physical body, of course. But what if I told you that what's reflected back at you isn't the entirety of who you are? Gnostic initiates believed the material world, much like that reflection, is but an echo, a surface level of existence that conceals deeper truths. You are not merely skin and bone. Your body is a vessel, carrying a spark of divine potential, while your mind acts as a lens, focusing or distorting your perception of reality. Just as in a dream where the vibrant scenes dissolve with awakening, so does the illusion of death vanish when we understand that our essence, our soul, was never truly trapped in flesh. This understanding isn't just theoretical. It's a profound awakening, a true resurrection that Christ hinted at. It's the moment when we realize that we can transcend the fear of mortality and see death not as an ending, but as a shadow, a temporary veil cast by ignorance. It invites us to explore what lies beyond the tangible, urging us to live fully, to love deeply, and to embrace the mystery of our existence. So how do we begin this journey of awakening? It starts with a simple yet powerful question. Who am I beyond this reflection? In the Gospel of Thomas, we encounter a radical statement by Christ. Whoever finds himself is greater than the world. This line isn't just a philosophical musing. It's an invitation to embark on an inner journey of profound self-discovery. Gnostic thinkers took this teaching and saw it as the true pathway to immortality, not the kind that is measured by fame, wealth, or physical legacy, but one that stems from deep self-knowledge. Imagine for a moment that our essence is layered, much like the rings of a tree. Each layer, each experience, shapes us, but the core, the part that connects us to everything, is often buried beneath life's distractions. To truly know our origin is to unlock the secret of existence itself. It allows us to transcend the fear of death. Jesus wasn't presenting a formula for some magical resurrection. Instead, he was emphasizing a form of awareness, an awakening to the understanding that our consciousness is timeless. The true resurrection is not that of a lifeless body coming back to life, but of our awareness reconnecting with the eternal. When we realize that we are more than our physical form, we begin to remember that we cannot die. We simply transform. In our daily lives, the rush to find ourselves often leads to chasing external validation. But what if the most profound journey is the one within? By reflecting on who we are beneath society's labels and expectations, we can tap into a wealth of strength and wisdom. It's not merely about understanding ourselves better. It's about connecting with something far greater, a universal truth that liberates us from the confines of mortality. So, next time you find yourself lost in the chaos of daily life, remember that the key to true existence lies not in the outside world, but within you. Consider the idea of the deathless field. Modern science is finally catching up with what mystics and spiritual thinkers have long understood. Energy is eternal. It transforms, but it never truly ceases to exist. The Gnostics particularly emphasized this notion, viewing consciousness as an infinite field that isn't confined to our brains. Instead, our minds act like filters, allowing a glimpse into this vast expanse of awareness. When our brain stops functioning, it's not the end. It's a transition, a re-expansion into that boundless state of being. Imagine this. You're not merely a body experiencing fleeting spiritual moments. Instead, you are spirit, momentarily navigating the human experience. This perspective can shift how we approach not just life, but also the concept of death itself, seeing it as a beautiful return to our true essence rather than a final extinguishing of consciousness. Every day, we're bombarded with messages that feed into a deep-seated fear of loss, our health, our relationships, our very lives. It's no wonder that many of us feel stuck, held captive by what we perceive as our realities. But what if I told you that the greatest awakening happens the moment we stop identifying so closely with our bodies? When you realize that your essence goes far beyond the skin that holds it, something remarkable occurs. Consider fear. It's not just a feeling, but a currency of control. Think about how many systems in our lives thrive on this fear. Religions that preach eternal damnation, political structures that use fear tactics to keep us compliant, and cultures that value conformity over individuality. Each of these systems depends on us feeling threatened by the very idea of endings or loss. But here's the kicker. When we begin to see through this veil, we empower ourselves to break free from the chains of conformity. Imagine for a moment what it feels like to recognize that you can't lose what was never truly yours to begin with. This realization shatters the grip of fear, making you ungovernable. You become a force of nature, impossible to manipulate, driven by the clarity of your true self. Your relationships, your aspirations, they become infused with a new energy. No longer dictated by the anxiety of loss, you start to navigate life with courage and authenticity. So let this be your invitation to step out of the fear matrix. Explore the essence of who you really are, and just watch how the world responds. You're not just a body. You are an infinite soul with limitless potential. Embrace that truth, and watch as the walls of control begin to crumble around you. The Gnostics understood something profound. They didn't chase after immortality because it was already ingrained in their essence. Instead, their journey was about returning to the pleroma, a concept often referenced as the divine fullness. For them, this wasn't about gaining something new, it was about remembering what they've always known. Every lifetime we experience is a brushstroke on our personal canvas, filled with lessons left by Sophia, the embodiment of wisdom. Each encounter, joy and sorrow, is a stepping stone on that path. When the final illusion of separation fades away, it's not an end. Instead, it's an awakening, a gentle emergence into the radiant light that has been within us all along. So, rather than fearing loss, consider it a beautiful return to your true self, to a light that never really went anywhere. Imagine, for a moment, that the essence of who you are transcends the boundaries of birth and death. What if I told you that you were never born? This isn't just philosophical musing, it's a profound truth that terrifies empires and transforms lives. The only thing that experiences birth and death is the dream of limitation, the layers of identity we cling to, our name, our achievements, our problems. What remains is the eternal witness, the same awareness that peered through your eyes as a child, wide with wonder, and continues to observe the world today. The Gnostics named this the living light. It exists outside of time and space, never beginning or ending, just being. Embracing this truth not only liberates us from the shackles of fear, but reveals the boundless nature of our true selves. So, let go of the masks of form and connect with that ever-present awareness. As we begin to understand that death lacks real power over us, we find something profound happens. The weight of all our fears crumbles away. We no longer race against clocks because we realize we're not bound by time. Living Gnostically invites us to embrace our essence, to see through the distractions of the world instead of fleeing from them. Death is merely a transition, a doorway. When we release the fear, we transform into what we truly are, radiant, immortal light navigating experience. This perspective doesn't minimize life, it amplifies it, allowing us to explore every moment with depth and wonder.